We hit peak demand for energy this afternoon, and boy, you could see how the gap narrows with the line indicating available supply. For the second time this summer, ERCOT is asking Texans to voluntarily conserve energy. Investigative reporter Tanya Iser has extensively covered the grid and can better explain this notice.
Yeah, Tanya, they want us to cut back between 3 and 8 p.m. Why these specific hours? And give us some examples of how we can conserve.
Well, Cynthia, the easiest way to conserve is to raise your thermostat. That'll help the grid enormously. Now let's pull that supply and demand chart back up. It's going to be between those hours that the purple line, now that purple line represents supply and the blue line represents demand. They're going to come very, very close to intersecting. They're going to come way too close, and that's what the grid operators want to make sure does not happen. Now, as for the why, it's the hottest hours of the day. That's combined with higher than normal outages of like natural gas and that kind of thing. And also the production of wind is about a third of what it normally is, and that's why we're seeing what we're seeing right now.
Yeah, Ty, I know wind and solar have been a huge contributor to keeping the reserves over the summer. But it's been at least 100 degrees 37 times this year. Is that specifically what's different about today?
Well, it's a whole lot of reasons. I wouldn't say it's necessarily different. It's kind of to be expected given what we're seeing, you know, with the wind production being down. But the experts I spoke to said we can expect the grid to hold up, and they expect that we're not going to see rolling outages. ERCOT does that so they can avoid having to take more serious steps like rolling outages. And in fact, the experts I talked to also said they're surprised that ERCOT didn't issue that alert last night, since it was clear that grid conditions were going to be tight today.
So how does ERCOT plan to deal with the rapid growth across the state and making sure we have the energy to keep the lights on?
Well, there is no one answer to that question. It's a combination of a lot of things, and they're building more battery storage so that we can have more electricity that can be used during peak times of demand. There's also been incentives that they're putting out there to bring more natural gas plants online that can be turned on at a moment's notice, to name a couple.
Okay, Tanya, so just to wrap, they are asking us to voluntarily conserve energy. This is not an emergency situation where we should expect any blackouts.
No, Cynthia. Look, this is the kind of thing that happens. They're just asking us all to help the grid out a bit.
All right, yeah. Shut those pool pumps off. Don't use the washer dryer, all the things we know.
Between 3 and 8 p.m. Thank you, Tanya. And if you find yourself in need of utility assistance, the state is extending its program. Applications were initially set to close at the end of next month. Now the deadline has been extended to December the 29th. Eligible expenses include electricity, gas, propane, water, and wastewater fees. You must meet specific requirements to receive aid.